We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Iran supporting Kamala Harris. Turkey's leader threatens Israel. A new test for cancer and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Iran wants Kamala Harris to be the next U.S. president. The leading state sponsor of terrorism is seeking to harm Donald Trump's presidential campaign in covert online influence operations, fearing a return to power by the Republican nominee would inflame relations with Washington, U.S. intelligence officials said on Monday. U.S. agencies have observed Tehran working to influence the presidential election, probably because Iranian leaders want to avoid increased tensions with the U.S., an official with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said during a press briefing. The assessment of Iran's election preferences marked a shift from a view shared by American intelligence agencies just a few weeks ago, when they said that Tehran was chiefly focused on acting as a chaos agent in the election. Turkey's leader on Sunday threatened military intervention in Israel to stop Jerusalem's war in Gaza in a significant escalation of rhetoric from NATO's second largest military. In a meeting with his Justice and Development Party, President Erdogan said, "Turkey must be very strong so that Israel can't do these ridiculous things to Palestine. Just like we entered Karabakh, just like we entered Libya, we might do similar to them," he said, according to a Reuters report. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz came back swinging and suggested Erdogan would meet a similar deadly fate as Iraq's former President Saddam Hussein, who was executed by hanging in 2006. Erdogan follows in the footsteps of Saddam Hussein and threatens to attack Israel. "Just let him remember what happened there and how it ended," Katz said in a message posted to X that included a picture of Erdogan and the former Iraqi leader. A New York judge on Monday decided not to assign an outside monitor to oversee the National Rifle Association, but banned Wayne LaPierre, the former CEO of the gun rights group, from employment with the organization for 10 years. The split decision from Judge Joel Cohen came on the final day of arguments in the second stage of the civil trial of the NRA brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Cohen said appointing a monitor to oversee the NRA wasn't a correct remedy, saying it would be time-consuming, disruptive, and will impose significant costs on the NRA without corresponding benefits. He also voiced concerns about potential government intrusion into the gun rights organization. Today's developments validate the NRA's reform efforts and commitment to good governance and recognize the First Amendment stakes of this case, NRA attorney William Brewer III said in a statement. Based on the record established at trial, the court rejected the New York Attorney General's request for a monitor. President Joe Biden released a proposal for Congress to get rid of lifetime appointments to the Supreme Court and establish an enforceable ethics code for the justices. Biden also called for a constitutional amendment reversing the court's recent decision that he claimed granted presidents broad immunity, but in fact was very specific that immunity only applied to official presidential acts. Without that decision, Biden could be prosecuted for reckless endangerment, for deaths caused by fentanyl, and for murders committed by illegal immigrants due to his border policies. The chances of any of this becoming a reality, especially with a divided Congress in an election year, are slim. Thousands of people began protesting in the streets of Venezuela after incumbent President Nicolas Maduro was officially declared the winner of the economically struggling country's hotly contested election yesterday. Maduro's opponent, Edmundo Gonzalez, has also claimed victory and said his campaign had proof. The U.S. has raised questions about the outcome, calling on Venezuela to release detailed precinct-by-precinct voter results. Meanwhile, 9 Latin American nations issued a joint statement that demanded an audit of the results. The FDA approved a blood test for colon cancer screenings. The test, made by Guardant Health and known as SHIELD, is expected to be available as soon as next week and offers a new way of detecting colon cancer, which is the second highest cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. While a blood test sounds a lot more comfortable than a colonoscopy, it's meant to add an option to the menu, not to replace colonoscopies entirely, especially since it can't pick up precancerous growths. Still, doctors are hopeful that the availability of a less invasive method will help boost screening rates. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.